Hello guys, I'm Verlin and in this video I will be talking about Azure Logic Apps. If you don't know what Azure Logic Apps are, I suggest you the links on the screen. In the video I will show you a real life scenario, business scenario where an employee requests a hardware. This should be approved by a direct manager. Then another notification, email notification should be sent back to the employee, and hopefully the system should send an HTTP request to the IT department system where they will find the required hardware. Now I'll go to the Azure portal to build the app from the scratch. First, the online form for the requests is going to be a SharePoint form. I've already created this form. It looks like it is a very basic form where you have a department for yourself and a manager and the type of the hardware that you're going to request if you're the employee. Now, this is the Logic Apps designer, but I'll start from scratch just to show you how to create a Logic app from scratch. This is my Azure portal, and whenever I click on the new button and type Logic app, the first item is a blank Logic app, and we used to have templates, but I do not see them now, so I'll just pick up a Logic app and create it. We'll pick up a name, approval workflow, and select the resource group that we're going to use for the Logic app. I already have two resource groups. If you do not have, you would have to create a new one. I'll pin this to the dashboard as well. The Logic app should be created in short time, and then the designer will guide us through the next steps. Now this is the Logic app designer, and we can pick up some pre-built and some recommended actions over here. Basically, this is not the first item is called trigger, so we will be using a trigger, and then we will be using actions. I will show you in a minute. Because we have an online form over here, and we need to, whenever this online form is filled, we need to send an email. I will just start with SharePoint. If you type SharePoint here in the search panel, all the available actions will be listed, and I'll need this one, SharePoint Online, a new item is created. Now I'll need to select the URL for the SharePoint. This is my URL. Okay, I already authenticated myself with the SharePoint account, with the Office 365 account, but if you're new to the Logic Apps and build a Logic app from scratch, you would need to add your credentials over here. Now I've added my SharePoint site, and now this panel, the trigger, automatically detects the lists that I can use. My list is called new hardware request. There is it. If I go back to cancel, we can see the list. And Now, when a new item is created in this list, we need to send an approval email to your direct manager. Now, as you can see, whenever I hit this one, we have one field over here called manager, and we have two available managers. I'll just create a condition here just to show you what the conditions are. We have the options to add a condition, and as you can see, we can use the fields from the form or from the SharePoint list, and it discovers this automatically. So I can say if the manager is equal to Lynn, okay, Lynn, then do something. And this is how the conditions are working in the Logic Apps Designer. So if yes, I'll add another action. For my next action from the approval workflow, I will use Outlook. I'll send an email to the manager. And we can see available actions for the Outlook. As you can see, we have all kinds of software as a service integration. We have Google Drive, we have GitHub, and you can use all these. If you type GitHub, you'll see more suggestions, but in our case I will use Outlook just to send an email. We have an action to send approval email. I'll pick this one. It has predefined subject. I'll leave it as it is. We have predefined options. Very good. And now we have to type the email of the direct manager. In this case, I'll just pick up my admin email, my Office 365 admin email, and paste it over here. You can see again the suggestions from the trigger, or if we had a previous actions, we would have more suggestions here. You can see them in a minute. Again, if you are not authenticated in your Outlook, it will prompt up a screen to authenticate. I'm already authenticated, and I'll pick up the very same email to be used. Okay, then we will need another action. If this email is sent to the manager and if the manager approves the request, we will send back another email to the employee. I'll pick again Outlook, send an email this time to the very same employee, because no, here we will use to the person that created this request. We have a created by email field in the online form over here, which is hidden at the moment, but it is here. And then we will add a subject to this email. Hardware requests. New hardware request or whatever. We just need a subject. New hardware response. Then we would have in the body something like your request for, let's say, the laptop that you've picked up is with status. rejected or approved. As you can see in the next action, I have a discovery for the trigger fields, the online form, and then the previous actions, this one. So I can pick the make of the laptop, for example, and what's been the status, which would be approved or rejected. Now, the last step of all this is maybe to send a request to the IT department. So I'll just pick up HTTP action, a simple HTTP action, because let's say the IT department are using some legacy system that is API based, and we need to send a post request. And I also have a request bin somewhere. This is my request bin and my request bin URL. I'll just pick it up. So this would be the URL to the IT department API. Then we have headers for the request. I'll just paste content type JSON over here, and then we will have some body. I'll save the Logic app, and we are ready to test. I'll create a new request. And now I'll go back to the Logic app because I'm using the free tier and it's not going to fire immediately. If we go back one blade, we have a manual trigger over here, and I'll start manually the Logic app. Now we should receive an email. There you go. And this is the approval email, but something's wrong. I really do not know what to approve. So let's go back to the approval email and fix it. Over here we have additional options. I forgot to add a body to our approval email. So I'll select the display name of the requester and what's being requested. Okay, this should be enough. Let's save. Okay, create a new request. Start the Logic app, and hopefully, okay, it's pretty quick. Let's say, okay, now we have some text in the body that says something at least, and I'll approve this. After the approval, we should immediately, okay, good. We should immediately receive a notification, and now I'm acting as an employee and I already know that my status is approved. And finally we have the HTTP request, and I'm going to my request bin. We should have another request over here. Okay, 7th. Let's see what's going on there. The correct data is sent to the IT department. If we pretend that this is the IT API. This is pretty much it. Now the SharePoint developers would say why we should use a Logic app. We have already approval workflow built in, And one of the advantages over here is that we can combine more software as a service platforms. And let's say I can send a Slack to someone after, and let's say I can also do a tweet. You can build a great workflow involving many providers here. And yeah, this is pretty much my demo. Thanks for your time.